Alright. Hey friends, welcome back to Beer and Beauty. It's Kasha. Today's video is going to be me decluttering. I gotta sneeze. Let's try that again. In today's video, we're going to be decluttering basically my entire lip collection. All the single individual lippies I have in my entire collection. We're going to try to declutter today. And here's a box of most of my stuff. There's definitely a lot. I really have been needing to do this declutter for a long time. I know it's going to be a long one. I'm going to try to swatch things and try to get rid of anything that's a little bit too similar to anything else in my collection. And it's just going to be a long one. So let's go ahead and get into it right away. I'm going to try to be really cutthroat. I really want to be able to get all my lip products really downsized. So let's get into it. But first, today's beer of the day. This is a beer probably featured on this channel before, but it's called the Juliet IPA from Amherst Brewing Company. It's a local brewery here in the Valley. I love their line of beers that are named after just girls. I think they were girls that worked at the brewery at one point, but yeah, this one's called Juliet. It's really good. It's like citrusy and hoppy. It's got like kind of like sharp hoppy notes, but like not in a heartburn kind of way. It's just a really delicious, like hazy, juicy, hoppy, delicious beer. It's perfect. I love beers like this. So they're citrusy and hoppy and just very flavorful, very bold. So love that. And that's going to keep me going through this very long video. So let's go ahead and get into it before this intro gets too long. Alright, so here we have my box of Lippies in here. As you can see, I kind of tried to organize them by brand a little bit, but as I use things, sometimes things don't get put back exactly right, but the fact that they're at least grouped a little bit will probably help me get through this a little bit. I also have my lip glosses and lip pencils in this bag, and I also have a vault of Lippies from NYX over here that I'll probably go through last. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I don't even know where to start. So I kind of have a lot of nudes in here, so I think it would be a good idea to go through my nudes and kind of compare them and see what is a dupe and can we get rid of some of the dupes. So I guess the obvious place to start with that is I have a ton of nudes from ColourPop. I think I'm going to try to swatch a ton of these and see what compares, what's really different. I think one of my favorite nudes from ColourPop is this color called Calypso. So I think this is probably going to be one that I keep, but we'll see. I just want to swatch it here just so I can compare it to others in my collection. Here we have, I think this is a Kathleen Lights collab. This is a color called November. Looks like this. And it's pretty easy to swatch with lip products because it's like, do tiny controlled swatches. This is a really cool color that I really enjoyed wearing this year a lot that I'm probably going to end up keeping. This is 951. This is a color called Beeper. I'm actually wearing that on my lips today with a lip gloss on top, but I did notice that it's actually kind of acting funny at this point, but it's like a nice brownie nude. It's a little bit darker. It was very chic and had like a cult following at one point, so I think I might keep that one, but we'll see. Here's a color that I keep trying and it never quite looks right on me. It's nice to like mix with other colors, but yeah, this is Aquarius from ColourPop. It's like a light nude. Here's one I'm probably going to end up having to throw away just because it's getting old and it's like starting to separate and act funny, but this is the color Trap from ColourPop. So that's the color called Trap. Already starting to see a couple colors look pretty similar to each other actually. Here's a color called Aquarius 2. I think I had a similar problem with this one. It was a little bit too light for me. Yeah, they're super similar, those two. And, you know, I guess I'm gonna check it out and see how different they look when they dry down. This is a cult classic color. This is a color called Point Zero, and it's kind of got a little bit of a brown kind of look to it. When you wear it, it kind of looks very grungy and cool. So here is a color I think I never even use, I hardly ever use. This is a color called Alyssa. It's like a pink, more pink. Really have 2 Aquariuses? Whoa, okay, here we go. I have 2 Aquariuses. I can't believe it. And it's like a color I don't even like. Wait, just kidding. Wait, what's going on here? But they look different in the tube. This is so wild. But obviously one of these I have to declutter. But at the same time, this also looks like a lip gloss rather than a lipstick. Is that what's going on? Is that why they're different? Yeah, it's supposed to be the same color as this guy over here, but that's a lip gloss. Okay, well, at least I know that I don't have 2 of the same Lippies, because my shopping problem has gotten so bad at one point that I didn't even know what I was buying. But yeah, that's a lip gloss. This is a color I remember really enjoying for a long time, and I think I actually wore it a lot this year. This is a color called Bumble. This one's a little bit more reddish. Still kind of like a neutral, almost kind of like a nude looking red. This is a color called Tulle. I think that one's actually pretty similar. Actually, that one's a lot darker. Just kidding. Here's another pinky looking color. This is called VIP Ipsy VIP. This is obviously a product that came with an Ipsy bag, and I think this is a gloss. And it looks like I've barely touched this one as well. That might be actually one that I end up decluttering. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the declutter pile for now, just because it's like, it's one that I never really reach for, and it looks like it's barely been touched, so. The rest of my ColourPop lips are like reds and stuff. You know what, I'll swatch them all together. This is a color called Catching Feels. I remember I wore this a couple times. I was on a search for like a rusty red for a while, so that's what these next couple colors are. A color called Love Bug. I remember wearing this before and really loving it. You know, fulfills my rusty red dreams. Roach is an older one in my collection. Oh yeah, this definitely feels like liquidy. Like I feel like this would be a mess. Not even gonna swatch that one. That one I think was one of my very first ColourPop Lippies that I ever bought, and I can feel that the texture is like really liquid and would probably be a mess to wear, so I'm gonna declutter that one. This one's one of my favorites. I love this color. This is just like a beautiful like fall orange color. It's called Mama. It's so pretty. It's one of my favorites. And this is a color called Mamacita, which is like part of the I Love Serai collab, but it's like a deep red. I think I might have to swatch that with more plums later, but. And this is an ultra satin lip that I think I've never worn yet. The color called Rêveur, which means dreamer, I believe, in French. And it's the Kathleen Lights collab, I think, yeah. A few of these are lip glosses, but most of these are my ColourPop Lippies. Actually, since we're here, I'll go ahead and swatch my ColourPop Lippy sticks. Curious to see how different the Lippy is from the liquid lipstick. And yes, it is effectively the same color. I think that's gonna make it so I will want to declutter the liquid lipstick, the Aquarius liquid lipstick, and I'll just keep this guy. And I wonder if there's anything here I can declutter. These two colors seem super duper similar. And I think that's Aquarius 2 and some other color. I think I'm gonna go ahead and declutter Aquarius 2 because I remember that being a color that I don't really reach for often. And I'm definitely more inclined to keep 951 over Aquarius 2. So I will declutter Aquarius 2. And I think one of these I should declutter. And I think that's gonna be Catching Feels. It's the one less likely to wear. And yeah, we've whittled it down already a little bit. I think while we're still going through nudes, I'd like to swatch these Colored Rain products. I have these like coffee themed lippies from Colored Rain. So this is the color called Cappuccino. Let's see if it's terribly similar to any of these. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's another one that's really close to Catching Feels, so definitely don't need to keep both. This is a color called Latte from Colored Rain. This seems like it's gonna be more gray mauve-y. That looks really similar to this color over here, and I think that's also Aquarius. Here's a lighter colored color. This is a color called Frappe. And the tube, oh, looks like I've never opened this one. Well, maybe I'll just be careful not to touch the edges. This is like a very mauve-y, light-toned kind of color. Then I have the color called Pink Cafe. I do remember wearing this quite a bit. Yeah, this one, you can tell that I've used a handful of times. This is actually a really cute color, like kind of orangey, a little bit of an orangey nude. And Then we have the color called Mocha, which is like a dark brown. Neutral kind of brown. Oh, here's another one that I haven't even opened. Ooh, it's very dark. Could be really vampy. And while we're here, I did wear this color Jade a lot this year. And I think this color called Electric Rain I still haven't worn. And if I did, I think maybe I wore it one time. But I'll go ahead and swatch it just to compare it to others later on. Ooh, that is a beautiful, fiery kind of color. I think that I got that on sale or something this year. And for the record, in case anybody was wondering if I'm planning on swatching everything before making my decision, yeah, I kind of am. So my hand is probably going to be covered in swatches by the end of this. I knew you wouldn't mind. So now let's go ahead and go through my Anastasia lips. I have a handful right here. I do remember really loving this color Ashton. I think I wore this yesterday actually. But it's like a mustardy, neutral, caramely kind of nude. A little bit brown, which I like. This is a color called Hudson. This came in like a 3-pack during the holidays. Another really pretty nude. This is a color called Dolce. This one's kind of new. I haven't really even opened this one yet. I think I've worn it like once or twice. Kind of similar to this pink latte one. See how it looks when they dry down, actually. And you know what? I might do little tiny dots next to colors that I think it would be a little bit too very similar to, so I can compare a little bit more closely. More Anastasia. This is a color called Bittersweet. It looks like I've never worn it. And if I did, I wore it maybe once. It's like a darker brown kind of look. It looks pretty different from that one actually, but good to, you know, compare a little bit. Next up is a color called Dazed. I feel like this is gonna be another like Catching Feels dupe. One looks like I barely had ever worn it. And that might be one I end up decluttering because it looks like it's barely been worn. It's pretty similar to Catching Feels, maybe a little darker, but I tend to not reach for that sort of color. So I think this one I'll go ahead and put into the declutter pile already. And what else do we have here? We have a lip gloss. This is actually a color I think I'm definitely going to keep. It's a color called Sad Girl. Very unique in my collection. I don't think there's anything like it in my collection. It's got tiny little glitters in it, but it still works beautifully as like a liquid lip. And I think I've actually worn it on my eyes before too. So that's cool. This is a lip gloss called Bordeaux from Anastasia. I used to wear that one a lot. I think I picked it simply because it was called Bordeaux. And you know, I am a fan of French wine, so I liked it for that. Then I have like a lip primer from Anastasia. I don't think I need to swatch that. It's just a clear lip primer. And this is a color called Grim. And it's one I've never taken out of the package. I'm gonna hold off on swatching this one because this one I might be able to even sell on Poshmark. It's never been opened or anything like that. Still in the box. So I bought it before my no buy year a year ago, but it's still unopened. So that might be one I might be able to sell on Poshmark, but we'll see. Put that off to the side for now. But it's like a mauve-y kind of gray kind of color. Seems really cool looking. As far as testing out nudes, I think I'm gonna go ahead and go through some of these Dose of Color nudes. Okay, I remember when I first got this color Truffle from Dose of Colors. It was one of my favorite nudes in my entire collection. It's just like a very neutral nude. And I wanna compare what other colors I have in my collection next to that one. So that's Dose of Colors Truffle. Looks like that. I remember just loving wearing it all the time. And then we have some Disney and Katie. This is the color More Creamer Please. A nice nude. It's kind of meant for like brightening up colors. Like transforming certain colors. This is the color No Shade. I think I don't need both. I think the color No Shade is the one I'm less likely to keep, but we'll see. And then I have this color Aftermath. And I got this one because it was like, thought it would be like a beautiful rusty red kind of color on my lip. And I do remember really loving wearing it when I first got it. In the tube, it looks more reddish. And I think on the lips it looks a little bit more reddish. I'd love to wear that one a little bit more. And then I have Savage, which I don't think I think I wore it one time. But it'll be fun to swatch it next to some of these other dark colors. Yeah, that one's much darker. It's like more of a brown kind of. It just seems more black, darker than some of my other lippies. That's the color called Savage. I guess I'll swatch it with the Dose of Color colors. This color, called Kiss of Fire, I wore to my sister's wedding. Really pretty color, but it did bleed quite a bit. And you can even kind of tell that it's gonna bleed just by looking at the swatch. It just seems like a really juicy, lip smackers kind of color, but really pretty color. And for the most part, it still looked really good, but it did bleed a little. I was constantly fixing up my lips, so I probably wouldn't recommend wearing it to a wedding. I forgot to swatch the rest of these ColourPop lippies, so let's go ahead and do that next. So this is the color called Lumiere, and this is actually my project pan. I don't think I'll ever actually use it all up, but it is a nice nude. I do reach for it a lot, and it's actually nice to have in my project pan, seeing as it's not one that's like hard to use, you know? This is the color called Oh Snap. Feeling a little textured already, but interesting. Let's put it here. No, it's pretty different from those. And then this is the color called Taurus. I actually love this one. I wear it all the time. Pretty like caramelly brown color. Color called Grunge. This is another one I'm kind of trying to pan this year. And it used to be one of my favorites. I love this color. It's just flattering on me. I don't know what it is about it, but I love the color Grunge. And here we have a couple brights. So I have this color Clique, which will be fun to put next to Kiss of Fire, or I forget what the name, Electric Orange from Colored Rain. So they actually do look pretty similar. They kind of would, they're not that similar. Like, looks like Clique is a little bit more coral. The Electric Orange one is a little bit more like true orange, more fiery looking, but this is the color called Grind. Fun, bright purple. Don't wear that one as often, but you know, it's a fun color. Next, I'm gonna go through my Kat Von D lippies. I never got rid of any of these because, well, I like this formula. I like the color range. I've actually kind of really gotten to know the color range, so I know what each one of these colors is gonna look like on me. And yeah, sometimes when I need to complete a look, I reach for one of these, and you know, I'm not gonna, the money's already spent, and I'm never gonna pan anything here. But I'd like to swatch some of these to see if anything compares in my collection to these guys. All right, so let's go ahead and go through these. So I guess let's start with Lolita, because that's like the most well-known one. And I do remember wearing this one a lot. It's actually kind of one I might gravitate towards if I don't know what lip to wear. And I'm just like, well, something mauve would work with it, right? So Lolita is like a good mauve color. Then I have Lovecraft, looks like this. The reason I have so many is because I bought 2 of the holiday mini kits long before. So there's Lovecraft. That one's a little bit more pink. I don't know if I have another one that's kind of like that. That one's pretty unique. Here's the color called Mother. I actually remember wearing this a lot whenever I'm looking for like a gentle, soft pink, but not like a bubblegum pink. That's probably one I'll go towards. This one doesn't have the sticker on it, but I believe this is Melancholia. Looks like this. It's like, yeah, that's definitely more of like a Barbie bubblegum kind of pink. Here's a color called Lovesick. It's definitely more gray, mauve-y. It's definitely like a different kind of color. Here's another classic from Kat Von D, Bow and Arrow. I do believe there's a dupe from Too Faced that's very similar. I believe their melted chocolate liquid lipstick is very similar to this one, but we'll have to swatch them side by side to find out. So that one is called Bow and Arrow. The color called Hawkwind, actually that's another one that in my repertoire of rusty colors that I was loving and collecting for a while when I was in search for the perfect like rusty kind of red. Plath is another one in that category. Hawkwind is more like cool toned. Plath is more warm toned. I remember this color. This is another really like interesting mauve gray kind of color. This is a color called Sanctuary. Put it next to the other one. This is a color called Madrid. That also was one that I used to wear when I was in my kick of like browns and rusty reds and stuff. This is a color called Exorcism. It's like a good one for if you're going for a vampy look. Ludwig is probably the last like true nude in my Kat Von D collection of lippies. And yeah, that's another nice light nude that is good for mixing into others to like lighten it up. And actually, I think I'm just gonna think about nudes for the rest of this portion of the video, and I'm gonna consult with reds and colors later. So I'm gonna put those off to the side, but those are my Kat Von D nudes. I definitely have to swatch these Smashbox lippies. especially the nudes, just because I tried to wear this Lily Singh Smashbox lippy the other day, but it was completely dried out, which is too bad because this is a beautiful color. I actually really like this. This is called Baus, and it's the Lily Singh collab, and yeah, it's like totally dried out. That one I'm gonna declutter or throw away. Let's see how the rest of these are doing. This is the color called Psychic Medium, and I got this in a BoxyCharm a while back, and I remember being really excited about this one. Also one that seems a little on the dry side, but probably still be used. Yeah, it definitely almost reads a little vampy when I wear it, because it's like kind of a dark gray brown. But there's a couple of nudes in here that I think are really almost perfect for me. Like this is a mini, and this is in the color Stepping Out. I remember really enjoying this. I love this formula, by the way. It's like not too dry. The Stepping Out is kind of like a really lovely neutral nude on me. And then there's Babe Alert, which is a little bit more pink, but also a really good nude on me. Love that. It looks similar to November, but I know it's not. I know November's more pink. I think I might end up keeping all of those just because I really like them. And some of these shimmery ones and these darker ones I'll save for later. Right now I'm just kind of trying to go through my nudes and see what's unique and what can be decluttered. Since I mentioned Too Faced earlier, I'll go ahead and swatch these little Too Faced minis that I have. I think these are all melted in the melted line, and this is the color called Chocolate Honey, and I believe it's super similar to Bone and Arrow from Kat Von D. I believe that was this one. I haven't used it in a while, so it needs a little bit of manipulation here. The application's a lot better than this usually. And I also have the color Chihuahua, which is a cult favorite from Too Faced. I wonder why the Chihuahua is not as yucky as some of the others. And here we have Melted Fig, which is another. Oh, look at that. One I've never even opened, never used. Interesting. I might put that one aside because it's like not open, so that might be a good candidate to pass off to somebody who would be more interested in having it. And actually, I absolutely love this color Abu Dhabi. This is another like almost kind of peachy nude on me, and I think I love it for its lightness. Really pretty. And then, check it out, I have another lippy that's still in the plastic, like brand new. Never opened it. Might be one I'd like to put into either a giveaway or, yeah, maybe I'll put those off to the side as like unopened products I might consider decluttering or selling or giving to a friend or what have you. Here's a color I remember not really liking, actually. This is called Lippies from the NYX Lip Lingerie line. I don't know. It was really light and I couldn't get on with the texture. It was a kind of a strange texture, but that might be one I end up decluttering just because it's like, I am not getting the love I should out of a product like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the declutter pile. And you know what? This is more of a gray, but I remember really loving this color. It's super unique grayish kind of mauve color. And this is called Brooklyn Thorn. It looks like it's pretty similar to this color over here. I believe that might be one of the Kat Von D colors. Super similar looking, actually. So that's actually not all my NYX nudes. Here's a little NYX nude. This is the color Initiator. I've been wearing this one a lot lately. I've really liked it. Really kind of like a cute peachy kind of color. Seems like I have a lot of colors that are kind of like this, like peachy, pinky kind of look. But while we're here, let's go through some of my other nudes that are minis from NYX. So this is the color called No Envy. Worn maybe once. A little bit more cool toned. Here's a more of a pinky color, but this is a color called Tea and Cookies. Another one that looks like it was used maybe once. More pink, a lot more pink. Here's a color called Sandstorm. I do remember wearing this before, maybe once. Definitely a lot more cool toned. Here's a color called Honeymoon, and seems pretty close to Brooklyn Thorn actually, but more light. Interesting. Feel like it could be similar to this other color from ColourPop. Swatching it next to it. See what it looks like when it dries down. This is a darker color. This is called Downtown Beauty. Looks like I opened it once before. Yeah, another cool toned kind of brown. This one's a lot deeper than some of the other ones. It doesn't seem like it's that similar to any others. And I have one more nudie kind of color from NYX called Soft Spoken. Oh, this one looks like it's been worn quite a bit. But that seems like a really pretty, like, neutral kind of nude. Mauve nude. Actually, that looks like it could be pretty similar to Lolita. Alright, I guess next up we'll swatch some of these Beer&Beauty lipsticks. Yeah, I have a ton of little minis in here, and it'll be nice to figure out which ones I can keep. Ooh, this is the color called Glacé. Looks like I've used this maybe one time before. Pretty similar to some of these other ones I just swatched, including this one. Brand new a second ago, but I've already messed up the tip. That's what he said. Then, this is the color called, oh, this is gonna be darker. I'm gonna hold off on swatching that one. That's called Aubergine. I bet Chai will be a nude though. So this is the color called Chai. It's pretty yucky. Clearly I've used it to mix into other colors. That's actually a really pretty looking nude. This looks like it's gonna be darker than it ends up being when you put it on. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be more of a red color, but when you put it on it's a lot more nude. That's interesting. Color called Nori, that's a little bit darker. I'll wait off on that. Full size of the color Gelato. Oh, looks like I potted it at one point, or at least a portion of it. This one's like a little bit more of a white-based gray purple kind of color. Pretty interesting. Here's a color called Brioche. Looks like this. I feel like that's supposed to be a matte formula. Damn, does it look so similar to those. These two, a little bit more nude looking. This is the color called Rhubarb. It looks like it melted. Huh, maybe I can depot it or something. There's the color called Rhubarb. Here we have a color called Chabalis. More pinky kind of nude. All right, so now I'll go into some of my Ofra lips. This is called the color Pasadena. I really love some of these Ofra liquid lipsticks. There's Pasadena. Or here we go. Here's some more of my Ofras. This is a color called Verona, another one of my favorites. Got that in a BoxyCharm a while back. And here we have a color called Rio, another one of my favorites. More like peachy kind of color. That's called Rio. And I'll swatch that next to Pink Latte and these colors over here. This one's a little bit more orange. I think that one's pretty unique in my collection, actually. And that's kind of it for Ofra Nudes. This is a new addition to my collection. This is Melt Cosmetics Gwendolyn. It's another one that's a little bit more peach, but like darker. I remember really loving it when I first got it, and I'm gonna keep it because it's such a pretty peachy nude kind of color. Next, I will swatch some Tarte products. This is the Tarte liquid lipstick mini in the shade Birthday Suit. Oh, looks like one I've never used. Really pretty, like neutral nude. This is a mini in the shade Delish. This one looks like it's a little bit more warm pink. Looks like that. And over here we have the color. It's a lip paint. Tarte's lip paint. Doesn't say what color it is, but it seems like another like pale. Do you want to swatch this OCC lip tar in the shade, doesn't say what shade, Clockwork? Clockwork. And I just want to see what it looks like compared to some of these other guys. That looks very orangey, actually. Anything like Gwendolyn? Here's a color from Beauty Creations called Sweetheart. I remember not loving this formula, but not hating it either. Seems like it's pretty similar to a lot of my other colors here. Here's a classic Stila lip called Patina. This is like a classic color from Stila. Ooh, a lot more mauve than I expected. Here's another mauve kind of lip from Huda Beauty. This one's called Trophy Wife. I remember this being a classic as well. That one's a little bit darker than Patina, but interesting. Let's see, what else we got here for nudes. Another grayish nude from Ciate. This one's in the shade Bittersweet. Maybe I'll swatch it next to these grays over here. Interesting. And another little mini from brand Mellow. This is in the shade Tehran. This seems like it's gonna be, this looks like it was used maybe once. Seems like it's gonna be another grayish kind of nude. Another little mini from Grande Lips. This is the hydrating lip plumper. I believe this is gonna be a little bit more light colored. Yeah, it's very much kind of like a light lip gloss. I don't have enough arm to fit into frame anymore. I've got two little Bobbi Brown minis here. These are both classic colors from Bobbi Brown. This one's in the shade Neutral Rose. Looks like that. Really pretty, very neutral kind of pinky nude. And this one's in the shade Sandwash Pink. This one looks like it's one that I depotted and put in a thing. But they look so similar. Wow. This is Nude Sticks Whisper, another classic nude. That one's a little bit more gray looking. This is the shade Bahama from NARS. It's one I haven't used yet. Or maybe I did use it once or twice, but this is called Bahama. Really pretty, a little bit darker of like a neutral nude. Like a darker, slightly darker neutral nude. Then I have another pencil from NARS. This is the shade Rakuten. Oh, how did it get so flat? Did I never use this? Strange. Or I think I did, but I sharpened it. That's why it looks like that. It's like a pink. And I think the last one here that's very nude is this lipstick called Dolce Vita. A classic NARS nude for using as like a means to lighten something. Lighten color. Here's a Laura Mercier nude called Milky Way. Looks like that. It's like a light, neutral, like cool toned nude. Oh, I should definitely swatch Velvet Teddy. I just got a little mini of Velvet Teddy from MAC. Another classic nude. Okay, yeah, the color Barbara from NARS is also a nude. Oh, looks pretty similar to the one I just swatched, Velvet Teddy, but just like a tiny bit darker. This color called Marvelous Mauve from Sephora is still in its plastic, so that's a perfect candidate for something I can give away. And I believe that is all my nudes. Watched all my nudes on my arm, and I think what has to happen next is I have to kind of look at these swatches, group my nudes according to their color family. Like, is it a gray tone nude? Is it a pink nude? Is it a peach nude? Is it a mauve-y kind of nude? Up here, things are starting to really kind of look like all the same kind of color family. So yeah, it's pretty interesting that I swatched my arm in this way. I've got lots of swatches to go through and think about. So I'll be right back once I have made a couple decisions about these nudes. Okay, friends, so I don't know if you can see, but back here I kind of tried to group some of the lipsticks by color family, and I swatched them according to their color family. I learned that I have a lot of colors that are kind of like this, so I decluttered a bunch of those. I decluttered a couple of my peachy colors here. I decluttered a bunch of my more light pinks, grayish purple colors. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm definitely gonna declutter Grim, which is one that I never opened, and I'm probably gonna keep most of these that I have. And yeah, I feel like I just decluttered like 10 different Lippies because I grouped them together and I didn't want to have too many really close dupes. So that's what happened. So now I'm gonna go ahead and wash off this swatched arm as well. All right, friends, so back here I've kind of separated all my lipsticks into color families so I can compare them, but I did find this like little wad of drugstore lipsticks that I never pick up. So I'm gonna go ahead and declutter all of those. And over here we have a They're Real Double the Lip product that I got as gratis at Sephora, and I've never used it, so I'll go ahead and declutter that. And I guess we'll go ahead and start with reds. So we're going into reds, and I'm gonna go ahead and what I've been doing is I've been swatching them and try to like laying them out in order so I know which one's which. So I guess the first one we'll swatch is this Too Faced Melted Matte liquid lipstick in the shade Lady Balls. I remember this being a really like classic holiday red. And yeah, I've kind of grouped them into like orange reds, true reds, and like darker reds. And right now we're going through true reds, so that's that one. This is one of my favorite colors of all times. This is the shade Kitten Heels from NYX. One of their liquid suedes. It's a super bright true red. I love that color. Next up we have a Stila in the shade Fiery. Looks like that. Looks pretty close to Lady Balls actually, but slightly more cool toned. This is the shade Santa Sangra from Kat Von D. That seems like a really bright true red as well, but a little bit more cool toned. Bright, but also cool toned. Here's one of my favorite blue toned reds. This one's getting pretty old, but I still really love it. I still reach for it whenever I'm looking for like a blue toned red. This is the color Sanguis from Black Moon. Love that color. Something that I loved earlier this year, I got it in a BoxyCharm. This is a Becca lipstick in the shade Crimson. Beautiful, just like bright red color. And I do remember this one being pretty different from the rest of my collection, but this is, I think I already swatched this earlier. This is the color Kiss of Fire from Dose of Colors. It's like more of a pinky kind of stained lips kind of color. This is the color La Place. This is actually something I don't believe I've ever used. I think I got it as gratis. That one's a little bit deeper from NARS. La Place from NARS. And this is a, I think this is a lip gloss. I should probably put this in the lip gloss section, but let's go ahead and swatch it while we're here. This is the shade Do Not Disturb from NARS. I think I'll go ahead and, now these are like my true red colors. I'll go ahead and swatch my more crimson-y colors next, like darker colors. So this is the color Havana Nights from Ofra. Another one I got in a BoxyCharm this year. Ooh, this is one that's like straight up vampy. Should probably put that next to the vampy colors. And then this is one I remember really loving one holiday season. The shade number 42 from Sephora. This is just one of their Sephora liquid lips. Deeper crimson-y red. And this is the color Cruella from NARS. That was another like very classic deep red color. This is Plath from Kat Von D. That one's a little bit more brown, but I like it for that. This is Nosferatu from Kat Von D. And next up we have Cherry Skies from NYX. And a ColourPop Lippy, Mamacita from ColourPop. This one's gonna be dark. Yeah, that one looks like it could be purple. And then we have Jeffree Star Unicorn Blood. This was a classic for a while. And these are pretty different. These are kind of more rusty red colors, but I love these both and I will be keeping them both, but I guess it'll be interesting just to compare the colors. So this is ColourPop Lovebug. And lastly we have ColourPop Mama. So this one's a little bit more orange, but there's that one. I guess we'll go ahead and go into the orangey kind of lippies. So this one's called, this is one of my favorite orange lip colors. This is a beautiful fall color. Probably that's the idea. It's called Harvest from Black Moon Cosmetics. I love this color. It's pretty different from Mama from ColourPop, but I have noticed that it's a little bit similar, so I have actually swatched them side by side before. This is Electric Rain from Colored Rain. This is the color Revers from ColourPop. Ooh, that's beautiful. Super bright. Here we have Clique from ColourPop. These oranges are so pretty. Like I can't even stand it. I just can't stand it. OCC. Ooh, that looks so juicy. Why haven't I ever worn that? That's a color from OCC. I believe that's called Jealous. And this is Anna Nicole from Jeffree Star. So many of these are so close to each other. And I guess we'll go ahead and get into the kind of purpley red colors. After I go through all the reds, I'll go through like colors. So the next color is Sad Girl from ABH, Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's like a super beautiful like purpley red. Of Savage from Dose of Colors, bruisey purpley color. Here we have Exorcism from Kat Von D. It looked like that. Next we have Copenhagen from NYX. It's a soft matte lip cream. I wear that one too often, honestly. And I definitely have to declutter some of these. This is the color Catsuit from, oh, that should go with the browns. Should that be The browns, yeah. So next up will be Transylvania from NYX. Then we have Aubergine from Bite. That looks like one I've never even touched before. Looks pretty close to Copenhagen actually. And therefore I think I might actually go ahead and declutter Aubergine because it's barely been touched. Next we have the NYX Liquid Lip Suede in Retro, or no, Vintage. That one's a little bit more gray. That's kind of cool. We have Mina from Ofra. That one's a little bit more berry. And then we have Madrid from Kat Von D. That should probably go with the browns actually. And lastly is Club Hopper from NYX. And that should probably actually go with the browns too. Based on what we're looking at, I would like to declutter 3 true reds. So I think those are going to be the Stila, this third one. I'm going to declutter that one because it's really similar to Lady Balls. Lady Balls has better coverage. Kitten Heels I'm definitely going to keep. I think I can part with Santa Sangra since, I don't know, it's very similar to Sanguis. It is definitely one I'm going to keep from Black Moon. I love that blue toned one. It's actually really similar to the Becca, and I actually really love this Becca lipstick formula, so I'm going to declutter those two. Kiss of Fire is a different enough color to keep. This Laplace from NARS is really similar to Sanguis, so I'm going to declutter the NARS, and this NARS lip gloss I'll keep. So there you go, 3 lippies I've decluttered from the red. Alright, so let's take a look at some of these oranges. Harvest is definitely pretty different, I'll keep that one. But these next 2 are pretty close, and they're both pretty new. So I definitely have to declutter one of these. Which one looks more new? They both look equally new. I'm kind of more attracted to the Colored Rain one. So yeah, I decided to keep the Colored Rain, and I'm going to declutter the Revere from Kathleen Lights and ColourPop, which is sad because I'd like to try it out, but they're very close, so I can pass one on. And okay, so now it's time to consult with some of these deep reds, and a lot of them are really similar. So these 2 are really close. So we've got Ofra Havana Nights and number 42 from Sephora. I think I'm going to declutter Havana Nights because I've used it less, and that way I can give it to a friend. So I'll keep the Sephora one. And we have Cruella, which I'll keep. Plath is pretty... I'll keep Nosferatu. That could pretty much come in handy. Between one of the next 2, I'll have to declutter. I think between NYX Cherry Skies and Mamacita, they're pretty close. Not that close, but pretty close. One of them's a lot more matte than the other. But I think Mamacita might be a little bit older. So I will hold on to NYX Cherry Skies. I will declutter Mamacita, and then I'll hold on to Unicorn Blood and the other 2. Oh boy, I'm not doing very good with this declutter, but you know, at least this is a practice for me of like getting a better acquainted with what I even have here. So, my berries, my deep vampy berries. I definitely want to keep Sad Girl. Savage is pretty new. I think I can let go of Exorcism. These next 3 are really close, actually. We got Copenhagen, Transylvania, Aubergine, and Vintage Retro. And that one's pretty close to Mina, so, and that's barely been touched. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter Bite Beauty, Aubergine. That one's pretty close to some of these other colors that I have here. Mina. You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter Vintage from NYX, because it's like, I just don't feel like I'm going to reach for this one much. It's something that just doesn't jump out at me. So let me just double check that I don't... Oh, I do have a mini in here of it. Interesting. Alright, so that's like a nice little giveaway item. And I guess because I'm giving away the mini, because it's untouched, I can hold on to the full size for now. Maybe, just maybe, I'll even declutter both, because it's like, it's just one that I don't think I'll find myself reaching for. And honestly, I don't really reach for Mina very much anymore. So I'll be a little bit more cutthroat and declutter all of those. Okay, so we got through the reds. So now we'll go through purple and brown. But I think I have to clean off my swatch arm. So take a good look at that swatch arm because I'm gonna go wash it off. Also, I just discovered that I have this NYX mini called Orange County that has never been opened or touched, so that'll be a perfect candidate to give to a friend. And these two little orangey NYX colors look pretty unique. I don't think I've ever used either one of them. One of them's called Life's a Beach, one of them's called Foiled Again, so I think I'm going to keep both of those because they're pretty interesting. Alright, so now we're kind of getting into like the hot colors. So we got purples over here and browns over here, pinks, blues, and greens. So let's go ahead and start with this color called Misbehaving from ColourPop. That seemed pretty similar to some of the purple ones I just did. This is Suspiria from Kat Von D. Here we have a color called Virginity from Jeffree Star. This one seems pretty unique, really nice for ombreing. Nice light color. Here we have a little tiny mini from Urban Decay. That's pretty. This is the color Grind from ColourPop. Really fun, bright purple. Looks like that. Run the World. Let me just make sure I don't have any doubles here. Oh, I got a double. Let me make sure this one hasn't been opened. So we have a double of Sway. So I'm definitely going to put this one into my giveaway pile. So now we have the color Run the World from NYX. That's next. Ooh, that one's pretty looks like it would be great for a music video. This one is called LUV from Kat Von D. That one's really kind of almost pink. It's mostly purple. I use it for ombreing a lot. This is a color from Tarte. That's called, it doesn't have a name, but it's just like a clubbing kind of color. Really close to the NYX one that I just swatched. Here is a Vivid Matte Liquid from Maybelline. That one's pretty similar to some of these other ones. Here's Sway. Here's one I've actually used to ombre my lips with a lot. Next we have the color Put It On from NYX. It's a super deep purple. It's almost black looking. And another color from NYX called Subversive Socialite. Another dark purple, but not as dark as the one before it. Then this is kind of like a true purple from NYX called Amethyst. These are super fun. These purples are awesome. And here is the color Roxy from Kat Von D. Looks like it would be actually really close to, what's the one before it? Amethyst. Yeah, it is pretty close. And here's one of my favorite purples. It's like a bruisey purple. It's called Purgatory from Black Moon Cosmetics. Love that one. That one looks pretty similar to this NYX one. It's called Put It On. Let's go ahead and think about which of these I'm going to declutter. I think I am going to keep both of these even though they are pretty close, just because Purgatory is getting pretty old and I'd like to actually see how much of a dupe this is because it's a little bit more accessible. You can find it in more stores than Black Moon Cosmetics, the next one that is. These two look very similar. So one of these can go. I think it's going to be the Tarte. This little Urban Decay lippy can go. I got it as a point perk a long time ago, but I haven't. It's one I just simply never reach for. And this Vivid one from Maybelline, the consistency seems to not be drying down correctly, and I've had that one for a while, so I'm gonna get rid of that one. And I think the rest are definite enough to keep for some specific looks. So there's 3 from the purples I'm decluttering. Next, I suppose we shall swatch my hot pinks. So these are like my super hot pinks up here. Here's Jeffree Star 714. There's another one that's kind of in this color category. Here's NYX Life's a Beach. I don't know if I've ever worn that one. Oh, that's pretty. Seems like it would be a super fun summertime color. And then we have, I think this is Melancholia from Kat Von D. The little sticker came off, so it's hard to tell, but then we have one I probably have never worn. It's called Respect the Pink from NYX. Ooh, super bright. It demands your attention. It's almost kind of got like an ultraviolet look to it. Here we have a color called Pink Lust from NYX. I bet that's going to be really close to... Go ahead and swatch this one next. Backstage Bambi from Kat Von D. And one of these is a little bit more pink than the other. That's really interesting. These are both super brights. This one's called Fuchsia Ecstasy from Maybelline Vivid Matte Liquid. I think I wore this to work one day. Here's OCC Lip Tar in the shade New Wave. I could do something really avant-garde with that. And then we have Ciate Liquid Velvet in the shade Head Over Heels. Here's a color that I love. It's super unique. This is Watermelon Soda from Jeffree Star, but it's starting to act funny. It still smells like bubblegum or something. And then we have color from Makeup Forever. That's more of like a lip gloss, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this Makeup Forever one because it's very similar to this really cool one from NYX called Pink Lust. So I'll hold on to Pink Lust, declutter Makeup Forever. Definitely gonna declutter this Vivid Matte Liquid. It's very similar to this Ciate one. I think I can let go Backstage Bambi. It's pretty similar to this Pink Heels one, or Pink Lust one, and that way I can declutter 3. I think we'll do blues first. I feel like that would go a little faster. So we got all my blues here. I'm not gonna swatch this bright blue because I've never opened it before, but it's such a unique color. I feel like it would be fun to use one of these days. So that one I'm gonna keep. This light blue one I'm gonna keep too because I don't have a light blue anywhere else in my collection that's like that. That's a green. And so that just leaves these 3 guys. So this is the shade Echo from Kat Von D. It's like almost like a purpley blue. That one's pretty unique. Then we have the color Foul Mouth from... One's a little bit more navy, but very similar to the Echo one. And here's Jeffree Star Blue Velvet. This is like the most true blue in my collection. Lastly, we have the color Jet Set from NYX. Even though these are both very similar tones, and now that this is drying down, the color Foul Mouth is a little bit more gray, so I kind of like that about it. These two are super close, and I've barely touched the color Jet Set, so I'm going to declutter that one because that'd be a better gift as something I've barely touched. But this Jeffree Star one, I've used it a good handful of times, and if anything comes up, I'll use that one. All right, now I've got a handful of greens down here. This is the color Blow from Melt Cosmetics. A nice true green. We have, I love this color. I've been wearing it kind of a lot this year. This is the color Jade from Colored Rain. Really interesting metallic green. And then we have Breakfast at Tiffany's from Jeffree Star. Even though it's looking kind of crazy, soon I will have to declutter it because the consistency is kind of changing, but it's still working okay, so I'm going to keep that. And this is the color, I think it was called Forest Green or something like that. It's a Sephora Soft Matte Lip Cream. Yeah, I'm going to hold on to all those. All right, before I wash off my arm, let's go ahead and swatch these browns. So these are very true dark browns. Here's a color called, it's called Burnt Violet from MAC. The packaging looks so brown, but this is very purple. Oh, that's okay. I can still swatch it next to this guy. And these two are super similar. So I think I'm gonna probably declutter this MAC one because it's only been used like twice. So I can declutter it. This is another color from Kat Von D. Pretty similar. The sticker's lost, so I don't know what it's called, but then we have one of my favorite ColourPop Lippies in the shade Grunge. Looks like that. Here is the color Mocha from Colored Rain. Nice dark brown. Very chocolatey looking. Love that. Taurus from ColourPop. Here is another super dark brown from Melt. And this one seems like, I think it's a matte formula, but it's like super thick. You really have to kind of tug at it to get it to work. And this is the color Dominatrix from Jeffree Star. And then we have the color Downtown Beauty from NYX. Okay, so as far as super deep browns go, I think I'd rather keep Mocha rather than Dominatrix. I don't go in for dark browns like this all the time, so if I were to go in for a dark brown, I'll probably use the Colored Rain rather than the other one. I don't see myself using the cat suit from Melt. I've only used it a handful of times, but I don't know, just one that I do not reach for whatsoever. So I'm gonna declutter that one. And the rest I think I will keep. So there's 3 I am decluttering. And just to show you guys my beautiful art swatch, arm of swatches, here it is. This one's especially pretty because it's got all those fun colors. Alright friends, so this is my keep box. This is all the liquid lipsticks and regular lipsticks that I decided to keep. I've decided to do my lip liners and lip glosses in a separate video, just because this one's already so long. But here's what I ended up keeping. Here is my declutter pile, which is still pretty significant. Still smaller than the keep pile, but pretty significant. Decluttered a lot here today. And I just want to count up what I ended up keeping. Let's do a quick count. Okay, so that is 160 Lippies that I'm keeping. I probably could get rid of more than that, but this is my first lip declutter I've ever done. Bet the next time I do a lip declutter, I'm gonna do a way better job. I'll declutter them by half, I'm sure. The first declutter is it's always a little hard because it's like, you've never done it before, you don't really even have an idea of what your collection is like, and that's why you do a declutter. That way you can really go through your collection with a fine-tooth comb, decide what is in there, and then between the time that you do your first declutter and your second declutter, you get a better sense of what you're actually liable to use. And here's what I end up decluttering. So I'm keeping 160 and I'm decluttering All right, so that's 73 lip products that I decluttered. That is definitely something, you know, that is a lot. A lot of these I've discovered are barely touched, some of them not touched at all. A few things I think I will list on my Poshmark just because they've never been touched, like this NYX lipstick has never been touched. This NYX, I might do a little bundle of NYX lipsticks that have never been touched. Oh, the Sephora lip is still in its plastic. This Anastasia lip still in its plastic. Those I'm gonna separate the things out that I have never really even been touched. Okay, so yeah, that is it. These are the ones that are kind of like unused over here. So I'm going to maybe try to list these. But the rest of these are gonna go to friends. But I have a number of friends that I think would be excited about a good amount of these. So I'm so excited to be able to share some stuff with my friends. Okay, friends, well, that is it. That is my giant lipstick declutter. I believe I kept 160 lipsticks. I decluttered 73. I decluttered almost a third of my lipstick collection, and I think that's pretty good. This took me all day to do. This was a big job. This was a big process, but I'm glad that I did it. My lipstick collection, even though it's still a little bit huge, it's a lot more manageable, and I feel like next time I do a declutter, I'm gonna be even more cutthroat. I think next time I do a declutter, I'm gonna declutter my collection by half. And I think that'll be really exciting. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy declutter videos, I'm doing a lot of them right now. I just posted my eyeshadow palette declutter video. I bet you have already seen that one if you're if you've watched any of my videos before. But I hope you subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoy watching declutter videos. And I also do a lot of empties and a lot of content having to do with getting good use out of your makeup collection. And I also review beer in front of every video. So if this is the first time you're seeing one of my videos, hello and welcome. I hope I see you again for the next one. And I hope you really enjoyed hanging out with me. I really enjoyed hanging out with you. And until next time, cheers. Bye!